Okay, so what if I told you that maybe just $10 you have right now could actually become hundreds of dollars in the future?
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's not some crazy scheme or anything. It's really about investing. And that's what we're digging into today in this deep dive.
Right.
Specifically, why starting to invest now is such a smart move, even if you're only talking about a small amount, like $10.
Uh-huh. And where are we getting this from today?
Good question. Our info comes from some excerpts we have from an investment guide. It's called Texto Pagado.
Okay.
And our mission today is pretty simple. Pull out the really important stuff from this guide about why starting early is so beneficial and, make it super clear and actionable for you.
Makes sense, because I think a lot of people assume you need, like, a ton of money to even start investing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But this source suggests otherwise. It's fascinating how these basic ideas can work, even if you start small.
They really can.
All right, let's talk about the main engine behind this growth idea.
Compound interest.
Ah, the magic word. Huh, yeah. So in simple terms, it's like your money starts making more money.
Uh-huh.
And then that extra money also starts making its own money.
Right. It snowballs. It's not just earning on your initial bit, but on the earnings themselves.
Yeah, exactly. A snowball effect, but, working for you.
And Texto Pagado, the source, it gives a pretty neat example, doesn't it?
It does. It mentions how maybe $100 invested now could potentially grow to over $1,000.
Yeah, in about, 20 or 30 years, it says?
Right. Which really shows you how those little gains can add up over time, that cumulative effect.
It's powerful stuff when you let it work.
Okay, but here's the kicker, and the guide really hammers this home.
What's that?
It says, and this is a quote, "The earlier you start, the more time your money has to grow."
Seems obvious, maybe, but it's incredibly important.
Totally. It sounds simple, but think about the implications. Time. It's like this massive amplifier for your money.
It really is. Time lets that compounding effect truly work its magic. The longer the runway, the bigger the potential result.
So let's bring this back to starting small. Even just that $10 we mentioned. Starting with that, it's not about getting rich tomorrow, is it?
No, not at all. It's about kicking off that process, leveraging time, like you said, getting the snowball rolling, even if it starts tiny.
So for you listening, what this really highlights is that you don't need a fortune to start building something for your future.
Absolutely. That $10 you might just spend on coffee or something without thinking.
Yeah.
That could actually be the seed for some real growth long term.
Okay.
It's about building the habit, building that discipline.
And letting time do the heavy lifting.
Precisely. Which kind of leads to a bigger question for you, doesn't it?
Which is?
Well, what are your long-term goals? What are you aiming for, way down the line?
Yeah.
Because even if those goals seem really far off right now, starting today, even small, gives you the maximum amount of time for those potential gains to stack up.
You're giving your money the longest possible runway.
Exactly. You're planting the seeds as early as possible, giving them the most time to grow.
Right. Okay, so wrapping this up.
Yeah.
The big takeaway from our look into Texto Pagado seems pretty clear.
Yeah, I think so.
Starting to invest sooner rather than later gives you a significant advantage, even if you're starting with just a little bit of money.
Absolutely. The power isn't just in the amount, but in the time.
So maybe a final thought for you to mull over.
Okay.
As you think about this. Consider what future goals really matter to you. And then maybe ask yourself, how could starting now, even with just a few dollars, actually help you move towards those goals someday?
Yeah, it's a compelling thing to think about, how those small steps today could lead to something much bigger tomorrow.
Definitely something to consider.